I just finished read the novel Speak. To put it simply, this is a book about a girl who was raped and is going through recovery. I think it is a fantastic read. The story is about a girl, Melinda Sordino, who refuses to speak due to her traumatic experience of being raped. Last summer, a senior raped her during one of the summer parties before she entered high school. While in a state of panic, she calls the cops but was too afraid to say anything. She didn't tell her story to anyone, even her parents or her best friends. All her friends believed that she called the cops to bust them. As a result, they made her an outcast, even her best friend, Rachel. She began her first day of high school life alone, rejected. High school life for Melinda was terrible. She has no social life, and her only friend in school also ended up abandoning her. Her grades were dropping. Her parents were extremely disappointed. She was called up for counseling, but she still refused to speak. The only subject Melinda excelled in was art. Through this subject and her teacher, Mr. Freeman's help, she managed to express her feeling a bit better. Also, her lab partner, David Petrakis, also played a major role in helping her develop to get out of her silent phase. Finally, she builds up courage to tell Rachel about this. Soon, the whole school found out about the story. Melinda's voice is finally heard. Things finally got better for Melinda because she spoke up. She ends the year by finishing her art project, The Tree, and share about what had happened to her with her art teacher, Mr. Freeman. Melinda Sordino, she is the main character in the novel. She is terribly unhappy. At a party over the summer, Melinda was raped by Andy Evans, a popular senior boy, and so spends her entire 9th grade year trying to come to terms with what happened to her. She refuses to speak most of the time, and she misbehaves in interesting ways. For example, when Mr. Nack asks her to speak up, she refuses and just looks at him. She does this to try to give meaning to her own existence and to avoid the pain she feels so deeply. She can't seem to open up with her parents, so this makes it even worse for Melinda's struggle. It is only during art class where she was able to express herself. She was allowed to draw the trees, using her own feelings and imagination as inspirations. Through Mr. Freeman's help and her lab partner, David Petrakis, she realized that how important it is for her to speak up. For example, when she had a fight with Andy in the small room, to protect herself being hurt again, she screamed out, "No!" and fought Andy back. Eventually, she regains her strength and courage. She discovers that only she can decide the outcome of her life. At the end, she found her voice and she starts speaking again. Melinda's parents' dissatisfaction with their own lives and their marriage contributes to Melinda's unhappiness. They will usually fight at home, and Melinda rarely talks to them. When she is able to overcome her pain, she helps them to overcome theirs as well. He is the art teacher who had issues with the school board as they cut the budget and funding for art, resulting in being unable to provide lessons due to lack of supplies. However, he is the only adult who tries to understand Melinda's pain and encourages her to stand up for what she believes in. He offers an ear to listen and a shoulder to cry on if Melinda ever needs him. For example, when he sent Melinda back, he told her to share her difficulties with him. Whenever Melinda had a problem or seemed depressed, she was welcomed to the art room. In the end, he is one of those that helped her find her way to speak again. Rachel, she is Melinda's best friend since elementary school, but now does not consider her as a friend anymore. After Melinda called the cops and the party was raided, she stopped talking to Melinda and leads the way to making her an outcast. Rachel hangs out with her international friends at school as she generally wants to be popular and fit in. She discovers the truth of herself in the end by asking Andy personally. She found out that he raped Melinda and finds her way back into their friendship. She is the new girl who befriends Melinda at the beginning of the school year. She is shallow, cold, and uses Melinda when she needs her talents so as to become more popular among a clique known as the Martyrs. She dumps Melinda after that because she was weird and could not fit in the social scene. Her goal was to become a member of Martyrs.
David Petrakis. He is Melinda's biology lab partner. He is also in her history class and is one of the few students in the school who will speak to her. She comes to admire him very much for his brilliance, his willingness, and stand up for what is right and his passion for her. An example of this is when he lectures and tells Melinda that she cannot keep quiet and in order to stand up and fight for her right, she must speak up. He is a bastion of support when she needs it the most and he might just be a love interest for her in the future. Andy Evans, also known as IT, Beats, or, or a Wolf, he is the rapist who gets away with what he did to many girls. Because he is good looking, charming, and popular. He tortures Melinda psychologically every time he is near her, but she is the one who finally stops his terrible behavior. For people like Andy, please change your behavior. I have mixed feelings about Melinda. I do pity her with all my heart, and I wish I could be her friend. I was a bit angry at how her friends treat her, especially her former friends. A friend is supposed to stick by and stand up for each other. I have seen almost the same situation like this before. When I was 10 years old, I had one senior that is almost like Melinda. The whole class made her an outcast, and they always bullied her because she didn't fit in with the class. At the time, I could not do anything. I do feel very guilty because I could not help her. Back to Melinda. I think she is a pretty great girl. She shows her capabilities by using creativity and imagination to create all the different types of trees. She expresses it through her art. I feel that she is a very realistic girl too. Someone you can relate and talk to. Her courage to defend and fight Andy Evans for her own rights was really inspiring to me. I learned that we should stand up and speak for ourselves. It is not easy for a girl to stand up and fight a boy, but she did it. However, I did get a bit agitated at her, especially when I was halfway through the book, since she is always being so negative, and I found that sometimes she had the opportunity to escape her fate, but she just wallowed in the misery. However, I have never been a rat victim, so I guess I wouldn't know. Maybe if I were in her shoes, I might have been the same. She is the type of girl that you will never expect to change dramatically. She changed just because she wants to fit in and become more famous and popular. I had this type of friend, and sometimes it really makes me angry. Anyway, I still think that it is great that Rachel talked to Melinda in the end. I think she is a great friend, but she has to work on her friendship skills. However, Rachel still talks to Melinda, which means she still cares about her and she listens to Melinda's advice to find out the truth about Andy. I think Heather has a very poor attitude. She is very self-centered and only focused on what she wants. For example, the time when she was choosing a club, she didn't ask for Melinda's opinion, but chose whatever she wants. Also, the time when he needed Melinda's help, I don't think he was asking Melinda to help her, but was forcing her to help. Nonetheless, I think it was a great thing that Heather befriended Melinda at the start. Since Melinda had no friends, she was there for her. She is also a very open-minded person. Personally, I think that being open-minded is a very good attribute, that she is willing to try, she is willing to be active, not like many teenagers nowadays. I really like this character. I like how he was strong-headed, how he knew what he wanted, knew what he stood up for, and is so confident, such as the time when he thinks Mr. Neck was racist when talking about a topic. He was against Mr. Neck because he knew that he was right. I really admire a character like this, even though others may think of him as an oddball. I really think that how you view yourself is more important than how others view you. He was smart, gentle, kind, and he knew what his boundary was.
I like the way the author wrote the story and brings the event out. Really impresses me. I also see a lot of things like how a good teacher should act, behave, and how students should look in their high school life and the importance of speaking out. Besides, this is the first English novel that I have finished reading. I learned a lot of new vocabulary through reading and I really enjoy reading this novel. I guess I will read more in the future.